Yeah, so it might have been the third property I bought. I did a couple of successful single family homes. Then I got this fourplex that was really, really rough in a neighborhood in Detroit that like hadn't really come on yet, but I thought it was going in the right direction. That thing ended up being kind of a nightmare. Originally, I was planning on just doing like a pretty involved cosmetic rehab on it. The more I got into it, the more I realized I just need to gut this thing to the studs and redo everything. So that meant that I underestimated the rehab budget by about $100,000, which stings.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm excited to be joined by Curt Bagne. He's been making serious moves in the investing space. Curt, I'm glad to have you here.
Hey, Erika, thanks for having me on.
I think our listeners are really going to take something away with how you left your, regular job and scaled your portfolio. So let's dive on in. First, for people who may not be familiar with your role who are listening, can you give us the rundown? How did you get started in the real estate investing world?
So the very brief story is I started as an engineer, wanted to find something a little bit different, and now I'm up to 53 units. So I guess that's kind of the tagline to maybe hopefully keep people listening. But um, the gist of it is, yeah, I was working as an engineer in the automotive industry. I didn't necessarily love the work that I was doing, although engineering itself is a lot of fun. A lot of it comes down to solving interesting problems, and that I do very much enjoy. As far as getting into real estate, the company I was working for was a little bit chaotic. I went through like 5 different supervisors in 5 years, and also an industry like working on internal combustion engines that still has a place now, but I don't know that it's necessarily where I want to be niched down long into the future. And another thing that you could do to see if a company might be a good fit long term is to look at the org chart and assess, hey, all these people above me, am I really envious of them? Are these people whose jobs I'd want to have? And I could look all the way up from where I was up to the CEO. And the answer, honestly, was a no. Well, you could move up into management and higher levels of authority and gain some more income. You're also sacrificing a lot more time and taking on, I'd say, like a disproportionate amount of responsibility for what you get compensated for the trouble. And it had me, I guess, ripe for looking for an alternative. What got me into real estate specifically is it's kind of the same thing that got me into engineering. I like working on cars and tinkering with things, and I was interested in having some extra shop space to work on projects. I thought about a range of options from adding on to my garage to renting like a commercial space where I could work on projects. The thing is, all that's really expensive and you're essentially throwing money down the drain, and it wasn't sustainable long term. So I got to thinking, well, what if I got a commercial space that was bigger than what I need? I could cut it up, rent some of it out to other people, use some of it myself, and maybe I could have some model where I can have what I want and it pays for itself. that led me down the path of analyzing real estate deals and finding out how these work and how you actually make money with real estate, what the income looks like, what the expenses looks like.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And something clicked. It's like, maybe instead of a place to screw around with cars, I should treat this as an end goal to replace my income and alleviate the need for that job that I was no longer really satisfied with. So that's what I did. I researched really heavily for a couple of months on residential real estate and how to make money in it, how to analyze deals, what the pros and cons of it are. And, after consuming enough material where a lot of what I was hearing started to sound redundant, I took the leap. I went out and found a good investor-friendly agent, somebody who was actually on the same podcast recently, Joe Hamill of the Fire Realty team. He was a big help early on in getting me started, creating me through a lot of kind of dilapidated houses that other agents didn't necessarily want to spend their time with. But from that, I was able to find some good deals with good upside. One thing is being a bit capital constrained. In order to make this a sustainable model, I needed to find deals where I could force equity. So once I'm done with the deal, adding the value, I can get my money out on a refi and then go hunt for the next one. Anyway, that's kind of a long monologue, but it gives a bit of a background on how I got into this.
I love what you were sharing because we have a lot of listeners who are out there that are, they're still in their W-2 job and they're trying to figure out, okay, how do I get to that point where real estate is all I do? And what was that process like for you? How long did it take to make that full transition?
So I bought my first deal in early 2020, yeah, spring of 2020. And then February of 2022 is when I left my job. So I had enough money available to do kind of multiple deals in parallel. They were all value add deals. So I could keep recycling that same capital through multiple deals. And I think when I left the job, I was at 12 units or something. It was maybe a stretch if that was the right time to actually do it or not, but technically I could, so I did. And, looking back, I don't have any regrets, but it was maybe a little bit risky, maybe more, not so much what I'd advise for others, but hey, no regrets.
With having that engineering background, I'm sure you analyzed that risk there with making that leap. With having that engineering background, how does that help you when it comes to analyzing deals, or is does it give you a different perspective on real estate?
Yeah, I think so. In engineering everything, it's based on the outcome that you produce. Nobody really cares about the process if it doesn't work in the end. So you have to be really analytical and just having like a nice idea for how something conceivably could work out isn't enough. I know some people will buy real estate based on emotion. Oh, I love that building. It's such a cool location. They could see themselves in it. And all that matters. If you buy real estate strictly based on what the spreadsheet tells you might not end up with the best stuff, but that the numbers do matter as well. So you need to find a good way to kind of marry the two interests. And the engineering background, I think, has certainly helped me stay objective and also holistically look at all of the different things that factor into whether a deal will make money or not and accomplish your goals or not. And have the discipline to not jump into something that's not truly going to advance my interests.
Speaking of looking at things objectively, I'm sure that's come in handy when there's been challenges, which most people on this show they've had their share of challenges on with real estate. Maybe a deal went sideways. Maybe you had to completely pivot with what you were doing. Can you share one of those moments on your journey and what you learned from it, Kurt?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, so it might have been the third property I bought. I did a couple of successful single family homes. Then I got this fourplex that was really, really rough in a neighborhood in Detroit that like hadn't really come on yet, but I thought it was going in the right direction. That thing ended up being kind of a nightmare. Originally, I was planning on just doing like a pretty involved cosmetic rehab on it. The more I got into it, the more I realized I just need to gut this thing to the studs and redo everything. So that meant that I underestimated the rehab budget by about $100,000, which stings. And also, there are some inherited tenants there that presented some issues as well. Because I was buying a property that had been neglected for decades. It needed a lot of work. These people are kind of living in squalor, and I let them stay until I had the capital and stuff ready to actually begin this rehab project. But once I did, they just kind of dug their heels in and they didn't want to leave. And I offered to help them find new places. I offered to pay for their moving expenses and a lot of things that a lot of other people might not have offered just to kind of grease the rails, but it still kind of blew up in my face. There's a local news um, station, like the local Fox station, did some story. I think the headline was disabled veteran faces eviction from Southwest Detroit home by landlord who's doubling rent, neglecting to say that this place was getting a really, really extensive rehab that I offered to relocate these people and all that. Fortunately, he didn't mention me by name, but that was like an interesting way to kind of get broken into the business. It's like with that deal, everything that can go wrong did. I also got sued for a slip and fall there, but over time you realize that like the slip and fall, that's what your insurance is for. And then you learn how to prevent things in the future to not give them any leverage against you if such a thing were to occur. And I guess a lot of it is just being able to keep pressing on regardless. And because there are people doing this successfully, it's not necessarily that it can't be a viable venture. It's that you have to keep pushing and see it through to the other side to when it actually yields benefits. And that deal ultimately did. It legitimately nets after all expenses, after debt service, $35,000 a year, and it has for a number of years now. And I got most of my money out on the cash out refi, and within a year or so, the remainder was paid for via cash flow. So right now it's, no money in it. It still cash flows very nicely. It stays occupied and the residents in there now are all very good.
So that's awesome, and you got to see through that stuff to really see what's possible in real estate. Not quit when it's hard. Kurt, in the Detroit market or Metro Detroit, what kind of opportunities are you seeing that you've got your eye on?
One thing that's nice about the Metro Detroit market is you can find deals that cash flow. I know a lot of markets, that's a very difficult thing. And there are even people here lamenting like, oh, there's no cash flow anymore. But it's just because they're used to getting like 2 or 3% rule deals, and now it's down a bit less. But I've still been able to find deals where I can add my value, do the cash out refi, get all or most of my money back, and still have a decent margin of cash flow where I can live off of it. The main wealth builder there with those deals is the forced equity, but the cash flow like is kind of enough to support me. And I guess over time my deal criteria has changed. Like I prioritize the cash flow early on more than I do right now. Now it's like how much equity can I force and look at it sort of more holistically now that I have enough cash flow to meet my base needs. Now it's just kind of like having fun and seeing how much I can scale it.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, when it comes to the forced equity there, can you walk us through a project where you really leverage that?
So it's been essentially every project I've done. I did kind of hit an inflection point where instead of focusing on the 1 to 4 unit deals, which are classified as residential, I switched over to the commercial multifamily side. I'm not sure if all of the listeners are familiar with the differences there, but when you go from residential to commercial, the way the properties are valued is very different. With residential 1 to 4 units, it's valued based on comparable sales comps in the area. And before going into a deal, you have to look at the sales comps and see, well, a property in this condition is worth this much as dictated by the market because somebody actually paid X amount for this thing. So you have to look at properties and see, well, okay, here's this thing. It's much less than this other comp, like the high end comp in the area. How much is it going to cost to make this dump valuable like this comp is? And that's kind of the math you have to do. Like if I buy it and spend this much on it, you'd want the sum that you have into it to be like 70 to 75% of the after repair value. And that's what's going to enable you to get your money out on the refi. When you get over to the commercial side of it, they're valued like businesses. 1 to 4, typically it might be like a resident who's going to live there. Commercial side, it's probably going to be an investor who buys it. Investors, they care about, well, how much money is this going to make me? So the valuation is based on the net operating income and the cap rate. So a commercial deal, what you do to add value is essentially just add the income. Oftentimes that comes from physical improvements as well, because if you fix up a property drastically, it broadens the pool of like who's going to actually want to live in this thing, and it creates more demand. You can charge more for that. Also, as you fix a place up and address deferred maintenance, the operating costs tend to come down too. So you can add significant value to a property by fixing it up, getting the rents up to market rent if they've been under leased, and getting the expenses under control. Like maybe the seller, they had some vendors that have been, riding on some like pretty high profit margins. Maybe it's time to rebid the dumpster service or the lawn service or whatever. And those are all opportunities to add value too, and to really force that equity and to keep scaling by recycling the same capital through multiple deals.
Yeah, you with that you were talking about fixing up these spaces, and for you, how do you determine how much money to put into something? What type of renovations are worth putting something nicer in, or just kind of doing the bare minimum because it's not really going to make a difference?
It depends kind of, well, let's see. So every location, every property, there's going to be sort of a different avatar of renter who might want to live there. And you want to figure out who that is. Who's your likely end customer going to be? And you want to build it for them. If it's an area like a upcoming kind of trendy area, it's probably worth it to put in the nicer finishes because you're going to get some like young professionals or whatever who want to rent that, and they'll be willing to pay a premium to have the granite and like the patio in the back, or like nice amenities that might not make sense in areas that don't attract that type of clientele. Like if we're doing more of a C-class property, and we've done a fair bit of that too, the main thing is you just want everything to be in good condition. Everything has to work. It has to present nicely, but you don't necessarily get a premium by adding granite or something because your clientele, it's somebody who maybe where they're coming from, the maintenance team, they didn't fix anything. And if you can just be the guy who offers clean, affordable housing and you actually fix stuff, that can be like a pretty strong competitive edge. So it's just kind of figuring out what that avatar is, what they're going to appreciate, what they're willing to pay for, and building what's going to be in demand.
Well, Kurt, it's been awesome having you on the show today. If someone listening today wants to connect, reach out, maybe they want to collaborate on a deal, what's the best way for them to reach you?
So you can go to my website. It's curtbagne.com, CurtBagne.com. From there, you can get links to my social media and other stuff. I used to post fairly regularly on YouTube, so there's kind of like a back catalog of videos there. My most recent deal is a 24 unit in East Point. I'm just in the process of doing the refi on that. And once I have actual numbers to share, I'll probably do another video on that. So you might want to go on there and subscribe. And once I have that information, that deals come to fruition, you can come check back and see an update.
Cool. Well, again, it's been awesome you having on the show, Kurt, and inspiring people who are new to real estate how they can level up and see what's possible.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much, Erika, for having me. It's been great.
And for our listeners, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pros podcast. We've got more conversations lined up with pros like Kurt, who are out there building fantastic real estate businesses. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.